When it comes to this particular book, I can practically beg you to read it. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. So let's get into it. I read a lot of books. I'm a book lover, but when it comes to this particular book, I just needed to say something. I don't usually do book reviews, but I have to share what this book did for me. So I'm going to be doing a short book review about this particular book that I studied over the weekend, or basically the past 2 weeks, and I will share the 3 most important things that it did for me as a digital marketer and also as myself. So here's the book. The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. If you ever see this man, please tell him that it means the world to me. Not in a romantic way though. So when I was reading this book, I just had an open mind. I never had any specific thing that I wanted to get out of it. I just knew that okay, maybe it's going to work on my psychology as a salesperson, maybe it's going to help my brand, maybe it's going to change my life in some way, but I didn't have an exact target that I was expecting the book to sort out. So when I started reading the book, the first thing that I discovered was about self-concept. Self-concept, that's how you see yourself. Basically, how do you see yourself? You could be a digital marketer like myself, you could be a content creator, you could just be a creative, you could have a brand, a business, you could be whoever you are. But how do you see yourself when you take out all those things? If you take out the digital marketing, how do you see yourself? If you take out your marriage, how do you see yourself? So how do you see yourself? Now, when I was reading this book, Brian Tracy practically outlined that you need to work on how you see yourself if you want to excel in anything that you do. And I had a huge problem. I didn't see myself as much, honestly speaking. I didn't see myself as much beyond all these things. I would just hide behind content creating, behind communication. But what about me? I didn't see myself as much. So I had to say to myself, this is who I am. I'll wake up in the morning, I'll tell myself, I like myself, I love myself. It doesn't matter what anybody says, it doesn't matter what anybody does. I am important, I am influential, I am beautiful, I have something to offer. So I'll be forever grateful to this book because yes, I've heard about self-concept a couple of times, but the way he presented it was far better than in any other space that I encountered this topic, because it changed my life. Now I see myself as everything. I see myself as everything and more. I'm able to carry myself with such grace because I know that I'm influential, I'm a star, and I have everything. So before we go to the next point, you could have a phrase that you have chosen to recite to yourself. You could say, I will say this to myself every time I wake up over a space of 2 months, and watch how your life will change. Because like I said, I've been studying this book for 2 weeks. So this phrase has changed my entire mindset, my entire self-image, self-face, self-concept over the past 2 weeks. I'm no longer shy to walk into spaces. I no longer withdraw my opinion in conversations and so on. I'm excellent. So the next thing that I learned from this book, it has to do with sales presentation. If you're a digital marketer or if you're someone in the corporate world, this particular phrase should be familiar with you, because every salesperson has a sales presentation. It could be a couple of sentences that you put together as a salesperson that you have to say to any potential client. It could be a document, a short document, it could be a speech, it could be a whole video, audio, but you must have a sales presentation. So yes, I actually had a sales presentation, but what is in your sales presentation? Because you need to work on it. If you want to make sales in your business, in your brand, even your personal brand is a business, because at the end of the day, you want to sell value, you want to sell whatever. So Brian Tracy helped me to work on my sales presentation. Like, I was so explicit on what I could do for prospective clients. I had to really outline them, because you don't want to waste people's time. You have to be direct. The patience span or the attention span that people have to listen to what you have to say is really getting shorter by the day. So anything that you're telling your potential client should be very short. And one thing that helped me to reshape my sales presentation is that he said that it is all about the client. It's all about the prospect. So you have to make them feel special in whatever you're offering in your sales presentation. Okay, so I'm not going to say much. These are just some of the things that I learned from this book. So if you want to know more about the book, I think you should get a copy of the book, because it's really good, especially if you're a salesperson. So I'll be talking about one more thing, and that will be it. The last thing that I want to share with you that I got from reading or studying this particular book, I had to have income goals, because it's like a tradition that at the beginning of the year everybody sets goals, personal goals, business goals, marital goals, whatever. But as a salesperson, as a business person, as a brand, you have to have income goals. Okay, what do you think you'll be earning at this particular time of the year? What do you think you'll be earning at this particular month of the year? What do you think will be your financial value by December? So you need to be very, the SMART tool that most people use to set their goals. It must be specific, it must be measurable, realistic, and so on. So you are setting those goals following that SMART direction. Why is it important to set income goals? Yes, you may be thinking that it's important, so I'll be motivated to reach them, so that I'll be able to track my progress. True. But one important thing that setting income goals can do for you is that, for example, if I'm estimating that my net worth by the end of next year should be, let's say, $100,000, for example, that means that I have to start carrying myself like someone already in that income bracket. Yes. So in your day-to-day life, without even attaining those goals, carry yourself already as if you were already earning those goals. Because ask yourself, if I was rich today, will I talk the way I talk now? Will I dress the way I dress now? Will I interact the way I interact now? No. But that's it. You have to act like you're already in your success. Do you get? You have to act like you're already in your success. Talk like someone who is already having a lot of money in their bank account. Dress smart like someone that already has everything they ever wanted. Position yourself, interact like someone that's already flown around countries and so on. So that's what it did for me. Yes, we set income goals to track our progress, to track sales, to track success, to just for credibility, assurance, to measure your success and so on. But today, you must know that setting income goals will help you in your own lifestyle, because when you impute that imagination that, okay, I will start acting like I'm already this person, like I already have this, like I've already achieved this, you discover that your whole lifestyle will change. Because however you see yourself and how you act and whatever you do to yourself, by yourself, around yourself, that's how people will perceive you. So these things are really important. If you see yourself really low, if you have low self-esteem, people will smell it off from you. Truly, people will get it, and that's how they'll treat you, like someone who sees less of themselves. Thank you so much. There's so much more I want to share, but I can't give up all my secrets just because I want to beg you to study this book. If you stayed up to the end, thank you so much for staying with me. And I would love to know in the comments, have you been opportune to read this particular book, The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy? Or have you read any of his other books? Because when it comes to sales, he's an expert. So I would like to know what was your own take, or what's your own perception about everything that I've shared today. It would really be nice to interact in the comment section, to exchange, values, lessons, and so on. Thank you so much for staying with me. Bye.